Welcome. Tonight we're jumping right into the heart of a ritual that so many of us do every single week, but honestly, its cosmic meaning is almost totally hidden from view.
Oh yeah, we're talking about that very moment Shabbat ends. You know the one, you smell the spices, you sip the wine, and you stare into that braided Havdalah flame. But get this, it's not just about ending the day.
Not even close. It's about witnessing and actually participating in a massive reboot of the operating system of reality itself. It's the moment the whole world literally shifts from one energy mode to a completely different one.
All right, so here's the roadmap for our deep dive into this mystery. First up, a world of two lights. We're going to explore the two fundamental kinds of light that the Zohar says govern our entire week.
Then we'll get into the great system reboot. You know, what actually happens every Saturday night on a cosmic level and why it's so critical.
After that, we are going to decode the fire ritual itself, the blessing, the flame, and yeah, that weird and beautiful custom of looking at our fingernails. What's that about?
Finally, we'll bring it all home using some modern ideas to really understand the ultimate mission behind this whole incredible weekly cycle.
So let's jump right in. We light a candle when Shabbat ends, right? And we do it because, well, it's getting dark. We feel that dip, that return to the everyday grind. But what the Kabbalah teaches is that this isn't just a feeling in our heads. It is a precise metaphysical event taking place.
Exactly. Which gets us to the real question here. When that sacred light of Shabbat fades, does it just go out? Or is it being replaced by something completely different?
And that, right there, is the whole secret. The Zohar says this isn't just a power down, it's a cosmic handoff. I want you to picture this. Imagine a brilliant, all-encompassing, supernal light that literally defined the entire day, and it just starts to gently pull back, ascending up to its hidden source.
And as that light goes up, a totally new kind of energy begins to flicker and spark into life from down below. It's not just dimmer light, it's a different kind of light, a different energy that's now taking the stage for the next 6 days.
And right here, the Zohar gives us the names, the technical terms for these two energy systems. This quote is everything. The lights that ascend upward are called Meori Or, the lights of illumination, and the lights that descend downward are called Meori Esh, the lights of fire. It's just such a powerful visual, isn't it? The Meori Or, these lights of illumination, are the very spiritual atmosphere of Shabbat. They don't just disappear. The Zohar is specific. They ascend. They go home. And in their absence, they leave behind this spiritual vacuum, a space that has to be filled.
Okay, let's break this down on the screen because this distinction is absolutely crucial. You've got two completely different kinds of light. On one side, you have Meori Or. Their source is totally divine, a direct flow from a higher reality that just bathes the world in this elevated, connected state. That's the light of sacred time. And as Shabbat ends, that light is on its way up, it's withdrawing. But then you have Meori Esh, the lights of fire. Their source is what the Zohar calls terrestrial. It's earthly. It's the energy we interact with, the energy we actually kindle ourselves. This is the light that governs the mundane, weekday world. And it's descending, manifesting, getting permission to rule for the next 6 days of action, work, and, well, reality.
So you got to ask why? Why does this happen? Why this huge exchange every single week? Why can't we just stay in that awesome elevated state of Meori Ori? Well, the Zohar says it's basically a required system reboot for all of creation. It's a transition that's absolutely essential for the world of action, the world of consequences, and the world of free will to even exist.
And for us, the way we experience this shift, our user interface for it, is something called the Neshama Yetera, the additional soul. Now, this isn't just some nice poetry. Kabbalah says it's a literal expansion of our consciousness. On Shabbat, we're granted a higher state of being.
Yeah, think of it like getting a temporary upgrade to your spiritual hardware for 25 hours. It's what plugs you directly into that reality of Meori Or. But it's a loner. As Shabbat ends, that expanded soul withdraws, ascending right along with those supernal lights, and we really, really feel it leave.
And that withdrawal sets off a very specific chain reaction. First, our Neshama Yetzira leaves, and that's why we feel that little bit of sadness or loss. At the exact same time, the Meori Or pull back from the fabric of the world.
Okay, so now there's an opening, and this allows the organizing principle of the weekday to rush back in. It's a force called din. Now, din is often translated as judgment, but a better way to think of it is as the universe's physics engine, its structure, its limitation, its cause and effect.
Right. And this engine can only turn back on after that supernal light is gone. Why? Because when you're in a world of pure, unified divine flow, there's just no room for the strict laws of separation and consequence that run our normal lives.
So once Din is back in the driver's seat, the world needs a new kind of fuel to run on these new rules. And that is the exact moment that the Me'orei Esh, the lights of fire, are given the green light to manifest and become the official energy source for the week.
The cosmic engineering analogy here is just perfect. Think of Shabbat as the universe running in a high-bandwidth cloud mode. All the energy, insight, and holiness is streaming down automatically from the main server. Everything's synced, everything's integrated. But the weekday? That's offline mode. The high-speed connection gets throttled way down. The system has to switch to local processing. Now, energy isn't just being streamed to you, it has to be generated and managed locally, by us, through our actions, our choices, our work. We've just been handed the controls.
Which brings us right to that flame in the Havdalah candle. See, it's not just some random fire. The ritual, and that very specific blessing we say, Bore Me'orei Ha'esh, is our hands-on interface with this cosmic reboot. We're not just watching it happen, we're actively taking part.
And that blessing, the wording is so precise. Why do we say it that way? Why is it so important?
The Zohar is unbelievably clear on this. Pay attention to the words. We don't say who gives us fire. We say who creates the lights of fire, in the present tense.
It's a statement of active creation, happening in real time. The Zohar says that at this very moment, these weekday forces, the Me'orei Esh, which were basically in sleep mode all of Shabbat, are now being brought out of concealment and are literally being created fresh for their weekly job. Our blessing is like the activation command. It's us saying, okay, bring them on.
So by saying it, we're acknowledging their new authority and our new role in using them. So what is this fire? It's the energy of action, of creative work, of transformation.
It's the fire in the blacksmith's forge. It's the heat of a passionate argument. It's the spark of a new idea. It's the energy that fuels all our building and all our struggles. It's the very soul of the 6 days of work. So when we light that flame and say that blessing, we're accepting the new rules of the game, and we're officially grabbing our tool belt for the week ahead. We're taking the keys to reality's offline mode.
Okay, and now we get to one of the most beautiful and, let's be honest, strangest parts of the whole ritual. Why on earth do we stare at our fingernails in the candlelight? I mean, it can seem like just a quirky little custom.
But the Zohar's explanation for it is, wow, it's a mind-blowing revelation about human consciousness and how we ourselves are a tiny model of this entire cosmic process.
This is where it just gets incredible. The Zohar connects this little action directly to the most profound mystical vision ever. Moses on Mount Sinai, when he's told, "You will see my back, acharai, but my face, panim, shall not be seen." And the Zohar says, guess what? Your own hands are a map of these two realities. The inside of your hand, the soft palm, your unique fingerprints, that corresponds to the panim, the face. It represents the direct, internal supernal light of Me'orei that we can feel, that we can connect to on Shabbat.
But your fingernails, right? That hard, external, kind of see-through shell, that corresponds to the acharai, the back. This represents the outer, reflected, less clear light that we're able to perceive during the week.
So when we look at our fingernails, it's not just a quick look. It is a profound act of spiritual calibration. We curl our fingers on purpose to hide the face, the inner hand. And we only show the back, the fingernails, to the light of the Havdalah candle, the very light of Me'orei Ash.
We are making a statement with our bodies. We're acknowledging, okay, for the next 6 days, I can't see the direct light anymore. I can only see its reflection, its outer shell, as it shows up in this physical world of Din. We are literally tuning our senses to the new frequency of reality.
And if you thought that was deep, hold on, because there's another layer. The Tikkunei Zohar says that when we do this, we're also meditating on our original primordial state. Before the sin in Eden, Adam and Eve weren't wearing skin. They were wearing katanot or, garments of light. And get this, those light garments are described as looking like fingernails, a luminous, translucent shell that glowed. So when we stare at our own fingernails in that firelight, we are literally seeing a tiny, physical echo of humanity's original glowing body. It's a reminder of the potential for pure light that's still embedded in our very physical form.
All right, to really nail down the shift in how we operate, let's use a lens that I think we can all relate to today.
Let's do it. Let's talk about the video game guide to the cosmos. Think of Shabbat as passive power-up mode. Your character is standing in a sanctuary zone. Your health and your spiritual energy, they're regenerating automatically.
Right. Your consciousness stat gets a massive temporary boost from the Neshama Yetera power-up. The game's difficulty is set to peaceful. Even the forces of Din, the game's strict rule engine, are turned off. Your main objective in this mode is just to be there, to receive, to absorb, and to experience that elevated state.
But then, Shabbat ends, and Havdalah is like the screen flash and the sound effect that tells you you've just been switched to manual control mode. The power-up is gone. The passive energy stream stops. Now you have to actively generate your own spiritual energy by using the tools in your inventory, your actions, your mitzvot, your prayers, your work. And now the world is running on the full rule engine of Din, which starts throwing quests, challenges, and real consequences at you. Your goal isn't just to receive anymore. Now it's to use your tools to actively create your own light and to overcome the obstacles that the game puts in your way.
So, what's the whole point of this? I mean, this entire intricate system can't just be about making us tough it out through 6 days of fire, just so we can get our next Shabbat power-up, right? There's a deeper purpose, a mission that's baked right into this manual mode.
Exactly. That fire of the weekday, the Meorei Esh, it's not a bad thing. It's raw potential. It's powerful, it's a little chaotic, it's untamed energy. The real question is, what are we going to do with it?
And the ultimate tool we're given to shape and direct this fire is the Torah itself. This quote here from the Zohar makes it so clear. A continuous fire shall burn upon the altar. This refers to the Torah, as it is said, "Is not my word like fire, says the Lord?"
So the Torah is a type of divine fire that we can actually access all week long. It's the refining flame. It's what can take the raw, chaotic energy of the world and give it shape, direction, and holiness.
So, this is our mission for the week. Plain and simple. Unification. Our job is to take the raw, powerful, sometimes messy fire of our daily lives, our jobs, our families, our challenges, and to infuse it with holiness.
We use the memory of Shabbat's supernal light, the Meorei Or, as our guiding blueprint. And we use our tools, Torah and mitzvot, to refine the raw materials of the weekday and elevate the mundane back up to the level of the sacred. Our job is to bring the light into the fire.
And we want to leave you with this to think about. The switch out of Shabbat, that Havdalah flame, it isn't a downgrade. It's the start of the mission. The real challenge is to start seeing the fire of your everyday life not as something that gets in the way of holiness, but as the very fuel you need to reveal it. So the question for you is, how can you use the fire of your work, your relationships, and your challenges this week, not just as stuff you have to deal with, but as the actual fuel to reveal that hidden light of Shabbat right in the middle of your world? Because the ultimate goal is to prove that that sacred, infinite light of illumination, the Meorei Or, can be found and can shine even in the flickering, ordinary flames of our everyday lives.
Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.